the most insane car Land Rover has ever made. It's got a twin turbo V8, over 450 kilowatts, 750 Newton meters, and it is designed to go insanely fast off-road. But the price is also insane. This car costs 3 times as much as a Ford Ranger Raptor. Yes, it's $300,000. $300,000? That's a lot of money. This is about $100,000 more than an already very fancy Land Rover Defender, and it's about 3 times the price of a base level model. So what are you actually getting for your money? From the outside, to be honest with you, this is a fairly subtle play on the really fancy high performance 4-wheel drive. Our one here obviously is fully blacked out. Looks pretty aggressive, but it's also a little bit understated, I think. We do get a lot of nice things like matrix LED headlights here. We do get the fully blacked out grille. Looks all very nice, but of course one of the big things, wheels and tires. There is some fancy suspension in behind there as well. We will get to that, but I do love the design of these wheels. Some nice aggressive all-terrain tires there as well from BF Goodrich. They're actually not a KO2. These are called a trail terrain. A little bit different. We'll see how they go on-road, but also off-road a little bit later. Twin snorkels takes me back to the bad old days of 4-wheel driving, seeing twin snorkels on a 4-wheel drive, but this is a slightly different take to what we are used to. But otherwise, there's not a lot that really calls this vehicle out as being a really fancy and expensive Defender. You've got to be in the know a little bit to pick up this here. This is actually a ceramic finished little decal there. That is OCTA. That is to do with diamonds, I think, or something like that. There is an idea behind this brand being very strong, very polished. That is what really sets this thing apart. But it's not big and showy and shouty like you would get with a G63, for example. This is kind of understated, and from my experience driving it around, it's not getting the stacks of attention that you would in something like a G63, for example, where everyone turns and looks. This is a little bit flying under the radar, but at the same time, pretty menacing. So a little bit subtle, but definitely angry on the outside. Let's have a look at what you get on the inside. Now, in terms of what you get with this OCTA on the inside, it is mostly kind of similar to what you get with a regular Land Rover Defender, albeit you do get all of the options ticked here. So fancy sound system, sunroof, head-up display, all the nice materials and that sort of thing. But there are some important differentiators here. Firstly, check out these materials. It's called chopped carbon. It's lightweight, looks really fancy, and there's lashings of it on the back of the seat here as well. So something that visually sets the car apart, but otherwise it's kind of understated, I suppose, but really nice. I like the practicality of it. I like the layout of the buttons, the infotainment, steering wheel. It's all good. We've of course got that OCTA button there down on the steering wheel. That'll be more to do with when we're driving this thing, with a little bit more anger later on in the video. But practicality is nice. I can slide this out of the way. I've got power outlets, storage, center console that is refrigerated here as well. Wireless charging pad. You know what? This is nice. It's tasteful, but it's not extravagant and over the top. But one thing I do want to talk to you about are these seats. These are specific to OCTA. They look pretty fancy. They're very sporty and comfortable. They've got all the adjustment and all of those features you would expect. So electric adjustment, memory, heating, ventilation, and all of that sort of thing. But there's something else here that I want to show you. It's going to be a little bit tricky to explain, so bear with me, but it's got this feature called body and soul. Sounds like a bit silly, to be honest with you, but there is something in it actually. So there's a wellness function. We all need a bit of wellness in our life from time to time, don't we? But listen to that. You can hear some nice relaxing music playing, but what you can't feel is that that music is actually playing through my seat, or vibrating actually through my body, which is pretty interesting. It's actually kind of fun in a way, but also you can do sensory audio. So if you're into your music, for example, especially something a little bit on the heavier side, you can turn that on and it actually plays through the seat into your back here. So you're feeling the drums, you're feeling the bass. I thought it would be a little bit silly, but I'll be honest with you, I kind of got into it. It's an interesting feature that I haven't seen before in a car, and it's something that sets this OCTA apart. We all know who Land Rover is targeting with this Defender OCTA. It is, of course, the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG. Both big, boxy performance four-wheel drives, huge price tags and all the rest. But one thing that is important to differentiate this Octa with the G-Class is because this isn't as much of a hardcore retro styled vehicle, it is a bit more modern on the outside, you've got more space on the inside. So where a G-Class can feel really quite narrow in the cabin, this is wider, and it's important in this second row if you actually want to use this vehicle as a family car day to day. This is more comfortable, it's a bit more spacious as well. It's better for legroom, it's better for headroom, but it's also better for width. So from that point of view, this Defender Octa does make more sense on the daily grind. This is a pretty good second row actually. Visibility is good, space is good overall, and I've got all of the controls you can imagine here. So second row climate controls, air vents, power outlets, all of that sort of thing. Of course, a pop-down armrest with cup holders here. I will pop that headrest up now, but this is good. You can fit 3 adults in the back here quite comfortably. The sunroof is nice, it's letting in lots of air. This is a really good second row overall. Now, there is one extra practicality detail that I really like in this Defender, and it would help for people who want to use this thing actually as a spacious, useful, practical car. So you can fold, or pull I should say, this seat rest up and out of the way. It doesn't give you any extra storage, and I looked at this and thought, well, why do you do that? And there is a good reason. Let me show you now. I'll pop these headrests down, then I'll pull this lever, and hey presto, that backrest can now fold flat, and we've got a really nice flat load space now in the back of this Defender. So if you want to sleep in the back, this would work really well. You could put down a mattress, it'll be nice and comfortable. You could also just use this to load stuff in really nicely and easily and not trash the seats in the second row. So really good attention to detail here on the practicality front, even though this is an uber expensive luxury car. Now, this isn't the first time a V8 has been fitted into a Defender. Shout out to the 110 V8 from the mid-1980s. I grew up in the back of one of those. I reckon it's an awesome rig, but this is a little bit different to that in terms of power. And it's also very different in terms of the other V8 available in the Defender lineup. So the other one, the big 5-litre V8, can be supercharged, can be naturally aspirated. That's a really old Jaguar engine, but what Land Rover has done is shoehorned BMW's high-performance 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 under the bonnet here. So this has seen action in things like a BMW M5, for example, with 467 kilowatts here and 750 newton meters. There is actually more torque available on launch control as well. So this is a really serious engine. I'm sure it's going to be lovely to drive on-road, but can this car actually handle this much power off-road? That's the big question for me. The driving experience of this Octa is certainly different to what you get in a regular Defender, and it's not just about the powertrain and the noise either. We will get to that in a minute, but the ride quality is certainly different. And it's sort of coming up from a fairly high bar, in my opinion. The regular Defender on air suspension rides quite nicely, it's smooth, it handles itself quite well for what is a big, heavy vehicle. But this thing does take it to the next level, absolutely. You do get a bit of tyre roar at times from these tyres, especially running on the highway, and there's certainly a bit of wind noise for what is an otherwise fairly quiet vehicle overall. But the ride is pretty excellent, really. You've got really good body control here, but something that doesn't feel too stiff and jiggly as well. And there is a whole bunch of different driving modes to dig through that really change the nature of how the car feels. So you can go into comfort mode, that's nice and smooth and easy. Obviously into dynamic, that really ties everything down. And what you'll feel is a massive difference in the steering of this car. It's actually quite amazing how sharp this thing feels through the steering for a vehicle that is so big and heavy. It's actually quite amazing how poised and planted this thing feels dynamically. Now you can option 22-inch wheels with a much more highway-oriented tyre. I'm sure that thing would perform much better on bitumen. You get to the point where this thing just starts to lose lateral grip through these all-terrain tyres. That's just physics at the end of the day, but the car itself provides, to be honest with you, pretty insane levels of capability on road. But aside from the driving modes, one of the other fun things about this car is absolutely going in here and just pressing that exhaust button. So aside from the driving modes, you can turn the exhaust onto a loud mode and a quiet mode. And the first thing to point out here, I think, is that it's nowhere near as loud as a G-Class. You don't get that sort of thunderclap of noise that the G63 can make. This is more, it's definitely quieter. It's more of a rumble, I think, but it's definitely got some nice noise there when you're in a place where you can really give it a little bit of a nudge. So if I drop the gears down now, down into second, you can hear that there, change up. A nice angry rumble there. It's a really nice noise, a little bit more understated, absolutely. Once again, this car just tends to fly under the radar slightly in comparison to a G63, but absolutely beautiful engine, enjoyable soundtrack, incredible ride quality as well. Okie doke, we are on the track. The rain is falling slightly. The track is a bit muddy and different to what I've experienced before, but let's see what this OCTA can do. So first things first, button on the steering wheel here, that is the OCTA mode. So you hold a long press on it. A short press gives you dynamic, that's for on-road driving, but OCTA is off-road. And the other cool thing is you've actually got a launch control for off-road driving, which is exactly what we're going to do now. So OCTA mode selected, put this gear shifter across here, press a couple of other buttons down here. Here we go. Okay, so now foot on the brake, foot on the accelerator. Let's go. Far out. This thing does not slow down on dirt at all. It is incredibly fast, well over 100 before you could blink just there. Huge amounts of torque. Run it through a corner here. The seating position is really high, but corners like it's low, this thing. It's quite amazing. And God, the power. Run it down through here, in through the trees. Oh my goodness. Now I've driven this track before in a couple of other cars, but let me tell you, this is much more performance. This is a whole lot more car than I've experienced before. Something like a Ranger Raptor, it's not next level. I would say it's 2 levels or more above that in terms of performance, but also just the body control is unbelievable. Tip it into a corner, put that throttle on, catch it, throttle. Oh my God, this engine is unbelievable. It's fun in an M5, absolutely, but I reckon it's more fun in this thing. Lots of torque in the mid-range, but it's really happy to rev. Then you turn, accelerate, all of that power comes on tap. Wow. Now, there's no doubt that regular track time in a high-powered car is always going to be a lot of fun, but something like this really takes things to another level. The off-road track here is a challenge in itself. There's varying levels of surface grip, bumps and lumps to overcome, which you can really feel from behind the wheel. And of course, there's plenty of corners here to tuck into. Go in slow and come out fast, feeling that grip change underneath. And once you get a little bit confident behind the wheel, you can start to add in a bit of flair on those exits, using all of that horsepower for a big slide on the way out. 130 k's an hour, 135 on dirt, hard brakes into a corner. God, it turns so well. And you can catch it. Suspension, all the hydraulic stuff going on, it's controlling the car in so many different directions, doing all sorts of magic, making me look probably like a much better driver than I am, to be honest with you. But God, it's fun. But also a little bit dangerous because this thing has serious potential for performance. Powering out here, you want to have your wits about you, absolutely, because you could get out of shape very quickly. Oh my goodness. And while I'm having so much fun from behind the wheel, I have to keep reminding myself about the value of this car and all of those trees on the edge of the track. Let me tell you, they look mighty unforgiving. Coming around to the main straight of this track, a little bit of a jump, so let's hit it and see how this suspension feels now. Oh my God. I think the back might have skipped around a little bit there. It's coming down pretty heavy on the front, to be honest with you. It's not bottoming out, it's not jarring or crashing from what I'm feeling here. A lot of weight and a lot of force though. Don't know if I'd want to be hitting that jump any faster than that, to be honest with you. This jump is a bit different to what we have seen it before, so I'm not going to give it any bad points for not hitting it as fast as what we hit it with other vehicles, because it's a bit rough and ready. This track is wet, but in terms of capability, oh my God. I know that probably 0.01% of owners are going to do what we're doing here right now. The 99, they're missing out. This thing is absolutely hilarious and unbelievably capable. 75 or so, accelerate through. So how does the Octa get away with all of this? Well, in comparison to the regular air suspension of other Defender variants, this Octa has a sophisticated hydraulic system. Land Rover calls it 6D, which refers to the ability of this suspension system to control itself in 6 different dimensions or directions. So up and down suspension travel is one, side to side body control is another, but also the pitch and yaw from fore and aft, so the way the car moves and operates under braking and acceleration can all be controlled by the suspension. It's active, using a complex hydraulic system that adjusts damping forces and provides an incredible combination of comfort, control, handling, and bump absorption at the same time. It's really incredible to experience on a rough road like this where you can drive so fast, and as you can see, it is tough enough to handle a big jump with plenty of air underneath those wheels. So if you're wondering where all of that extra money for the Octa goes, it goes right here. The engine, the suspension, the tyres, this off-road high-speed performance. This is something that Land Rover hasn't really played in before, to be honest with you, but this Octa, it's a serious, serious beast. This thing walks the walk, talks the talk. I mean, listen to that engine. Well, that fan is still running on the engine there, trying to cool this thing down, because we have been giving it hell on this track for quite some time now. And I think where we've got it parked at the moment is actually where this thing was landing. I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't land super gracefully. It was coming down quite hard on the front there, and we did it a few times. You'd get out and have a look. It's actually okay. This is a tough vehicle, but it's just insane all of the things this car can do at the same time. When you think about the sort of on-road prowess that it has, handles really well, rides well, super fast in a straight line. From that point of view, absolutely G63 competitor. But then you go to a place like this and it goes to the next level. That on-road suspension kills it off-road as well. It's fast, it's capable, it's planted and solid, but it's also really leery and provocative. The engine is out of control in this car. It's absolutely insane. It's, I mean, $300,000, insane amount of money, yes, but you're spending that much on something like a Porsche 911 and you're going to take it to track days. It's kind of similar what we're doing here, to be honest with you. This track's just a little bit muddier, dustier and wet, but kind of more fun in a way. This is so much fun to drive a car with this much potential on a track like this. Let me tell you, it's scary. This thing is scary fast and it's so much fun at the same time. So, mate, it walks the walk, it talks the talk. I cannot say anything too much bad about this car, except for the price, of course, but maybe it's worth it. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret too. It took a fair bit of convincing from my bosses at work to pay for hire of this track today to actually do this. So it would actually really help if you give me a thumbs up, maybe drop a comment as well, get this video happening. So that means the next time I ask for some money, they'll actually give it to me. So please let me know if you like the video, and any questions you've got about this car, hit me up as well. And if you think this track looks a little bit familiar, you are absolutely right, because this is where we took the Ford Ranger Raptor for a really thorough test as well. So check out this video here if you want to see more wheels in the air, more sliding around corners, and more fun. It's actually a really good video, I reckon.